Today you're going to learn how to maximize your profit. I'm going to give you 7 conversion optimization tactics that are proven to work. So this is going to help you increase your profit in the year to come. So the first tactic that I've got for you is to remove distractions from your pages. So one call to action per page. It has to be clear, it has to be concise. The end user, the website visitor, has to have a very clear picture so they know exactly what they need to do next. So your page needs to be goal orientated. Think about what you want to achieve by using that page. So if you have multiple ads on the page, think about removing them. If you have multiple pop-ups, get rid of them. Have one clear goal per every page. And just doing this alone will make sure that your conversion rate increases over time as people become very clear on what they need to do on your web page. So for example, your page might encourage people to subscribe to your mailing list, in which case we don't want them going off in any other direction, clicking through other parts of your website. You want to make it very clear and concise. Likewise, if you're asking people to buy from you, so in that instance, we don't want to have an opt-in form on the web page. We only want to have a buy button. So we give people 2 choices. They can take the action we want them to take, or they can leave. And then that alone, having just those 2 choices, is going to increase your conversion rate instead of diluting the traffic around different parts of your website. Now, I'm not saying don't have a navigation on your website. They're very useful for search engines in particular. But we want to make sure that it's not too in your face, that people know that they should be taking one particular course of action on that web page. Okay, so the second tactic is to increase page speed. If we go to GTmetrix, you can run a test on your web page. Make sure that it's loading fast. Follow the recommendations that this website gives you. Google itself has a page speed analyzer that might also be worth checking out. In either case, you want to follow those recommendations and make sure that your web pages are loading at optimal speed, because the faster someone receives your web page, the more likely it is they're going to stick around on your site and take the type of action you want them to take. So do analyze page speed, make sure that it's running at optimum speed, and you follow the recommendations of GTmetrix and Google Page Speed. The third tactic I've got for you to increase your conversion rate is to use FOMO, or urgency, fear of missing out. So we want to put a timer, we want to reduce the number of spots available, we want to increase the urgency, we want to give our visitors a reason to act now. So instead of putting it on the back burner where they'll come back to it at a later date, we want them to take action right now, this very second, before they miss the opportunity. So that means that the offer could only be available for a set number of days or hours. You could include a special bonus for fast action takers, or you could impose a special deadline when something's going to change, the offer is going to change in a dramatic way, which will result in your visitor losing out. They're going to miss out if they procrastinate or waste time instead of taking the action that you want them to take. The fourth tactic I've got for you is to split test. So we've got a whole heap of different things we can split test. The first one, the most obvious one, is going to be your headline. So the purpose of the headline is to grab the immediate attention of your visitor and encourage them to continue reading the page by going to the subheading and then into the first paragraph. So what you want to do is split test different headline variations to see which one increases the attention span of your visitor. We can also split test actual copy. And I would encourage you to split test different bullet points on your page. And I'd encourage you to list these in blocks of 3. And that is because the brain can consume content in blocks of 3 easier than any other number. and it will also retain that information too. You can also split test the call to action buttons. So split test the colors, split test the words you use, and if you inject the word I or yes, I want this into the button copy, you might notice an increase in conversions too. When it comes to split testing colors, particularly button colors, it's all about contrast. Ignore people who tell you to use a green button or a red button or a yellow button. What you need to do is test different colors according to the contrast of the rest of your page. So the buy button needs to stand out more than anything else on that page. So if you have a white background page, then the color red might stand out the most, but do split test it. If you have a black background page, then perhaps a bright green might leap off the page more than any other color. It's all about the contrast. So split test different button colors according to the contrast and the colors of your existing page. Also split test the page layout. Try different variations of how to structure the content. You might be surprised to see that one layout performs significantly better than another layout, and that will tell you that that should become the control layout, and then you will test all future versions against that one. Also, don't be afraid to split test price too. What's the maximum you can earn for your product? Run different variations, test pricing points, and go whichever one increases the most revenue, not the most conversions, because it's your goal to make the most money. So you might have a lower conversion rate, but higher revenue. And that's the one to go with. You want to always follow the money. And the last one to split test is email subject lines. If you're doing email marketing, and you should be, if you enjoy making money on the internet, there's no excuse to not do email marketing now. So split test your subject lines. You want to increase your open rates, because the more people who open your email will consume the content and be more likely to take the action that you want them to, such as to buy your product or share your content. So split test email subject lines. This is very important. So let's say we're done with split testing for the moment. The next thing I want you to do is run surveys. So I want you to get a really clear idea of who is visiting your website and why they're there and what they want. This will help you to find out for sure if you have what your visitors want. I recommend using a website like SurveyMonkey to help you with this. They do have free options available if you don't want to invest, and also there's a wide range of WordPress plugins that will allow you to run surveys on your websites too. I think uncovering user data about what they really want is vital to success on the internet. And then number 6, we have to analyze user behavior on our websites. So we can use Google Analytics to find out the flow on our website, so we can see the top landing pages and what action people take once they hit our website. We can make sure that they are taking the action we want them to by setting up goals. And this will help you monitor your conversion rate. So set up goals in Google Analytics. Make sure that people are taking the action you want them to take. And also look at how people are finding your website. Look at the traffic sources that are bringing people to your website. Are the ones that are performing particularly well for you? If so, do more of that. Look at the search strings they're using, the keywords they're using to find your website. Does the content on your website match the expectations they have from using those keywords? Another tactic is to use heat maps. So perhaps something like CrazyEgg to look at the click map, the scroll map, the heat map of your visitors, so you can see exactly where they're clicking on your website. You can see where they're scrolling down to and the parts of your website that are getting the most engagement. If you can find content and areas on your page that is getting user engagement and move that further up the page above the fold, you will increase your conversion rate too. And then when you have all that in order, to really maximize your conversions and maximize your profit, use a value ladder. What's a value ladder? Well, we know that we always make the real money on the back end after the initial sale. So what I want you to do is think about additional offers that you can offer your customers immediately after the initial purchase. So the very first offer you make might be a low ticket item of $50 or less, and then once they progress to the next stage after they've completed their purchase, you offer them a more expensive item, and then once they complete that purchase, a more expensive item again. And this is a value ladder. So with each purchase, they're offered a more expensive item as the value increases. So they work their way up the value ladder, and that will increase your revenue too. That will maximize your profit. But how do you get customers in the first place? Well, I'm going to show you how to get laser targeted traffic for free when you go to profitcopilot.com/traffic. Grab that, it won't cost you a penny. And if you found this useful, give it a thumbs up below, subscribe to the channel too, hit that little notification bell, and you will never miss an update from me. And I will hopefully see you again in a couple of days' time. Take care.